We have with us Kelly Thibodeau, Executive Assistant to Megan Lavoie, our Director, and Sam Nichols, who is our Project Manager. I'd like to remind you of a few things in regard to the webinar. It is being recorded. If you have questions, we encourage you to place those in the chat. We have built in frequently asked questions and answers into this presentation, so you may want to wait until the end to ask your questions. Later in the presentation, Mr. Nichols will also do a demonstration of the Core Tools website where your documents will be uploaded. So we're going to get started. Rules and orders were modified. We're going to be discussing today the amendments to those rules. Texas Rules of Civil Procedure 3A, Texas Rules of Appellate Procedure 1.2, Texas Rules of Judicial Administration, Rule 10, and the miscellaneous docket numbers in regard to these amendments for the Supreme Court is 229081, and for the Court of Appeals was 22006. So Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 3A, next slide, Sam. This miscellaneous docket orders were signed the 20th and 23rd of this year, and they are in effect January 1st, 2023. The Office of Court Administration was charged with creating a website for these rules to be uploaded to. That website has been completed and is available for the uploading of the documents as of 11/1/2022. And so we are encouraging people to go ahead and use this tool so you're not rushing around right before January 1 to begin to post these. You go to the portal.txcourts.gov, and that is on our website as well. Next slide. So to go into the Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 3A, talk a little bit about this rule. It's an administrative judicial region or a court governed by these rules may promulgate local rules, forms, and standing orders that govern local practices. Relationship with other authorities, local rules, forms, and standing orders must not be inconsistent with state or federal law or rules adopted by the Supreme Court of Texas. This requirement extends to any time period provided by these rules. If adopted by a court, local rules, forms, and standing orders must not be inconsistent with any rule of the administrative judicial region in which the court is located. Publication requirements, it is effective only if it is posted on the Office of Court Administration's website. Next slide. Again, I want to bring your attention to the amendment provides for that local rules, forms, and standing orders must not conflict with other law or rules, and that they are not effective unless published on the Office of Court Administration website. Next slide. So you'll find in Texas Government Code 74.093 the requirements that need to be included in local rules. If your court doesn't currently not have local rules, this is where you would go to find the elements that need to be included in those rules. I'm not going to read through all of these, but that is the code that you would need to look at. And we're going to go through the next slide and the next as far as 74.093 of the Government Code. Next slide, Sam. And the next slide. So Texas Rules of Appellate Procedure, Rule 1. This applies to our appellate courts, and it specifically states that these rules govern procedure in appellate courts and before appellate judges and post-trial procedures in trial courts and criminal cases. The promulgation, a court of appeals may promulgate rules and forms governing its practice that are not inconsistent with state or federal law or rules adopted by the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeals. To be effective, local rules at the Court of Appeals and forms must be published on the Office of Court Administration's website. Parties' non-compliance, a court must not dismiss an appeal due to a party's failure to comply with a local rule or form without giving the non-complying party notice and a reasonable opportunity to cure the non-compliance. Next slide. So again, just to bring your attention to in the comment, the amended rule provides that local rules and forms must not conflict with other laws or rules, and that they are not effective unless published on the Office of Court Administration's website. So now to talk about Texas Rules of Judicial Administration, this would be for our JPs, justice courts, as well as a few other things that may be applicable to our county courts and district courts. General rule, local rules, forms, and standing orders must not be inconsistent with other laws or rules. It must be published on the Office of Court Administration's website. And it also brings your attention to the multi-court counties and multi-court counties having 2 or more court divisions. Each division must adopt a single set of local rules, forms, and standing orders that govern all courts in the division. Next slide. Local rules content must include provisions for fair distribution of the caseload, designation of the responsibility for emergency and special matters, plans for judicial vacation, sick leave attendance, educational programs, and similar matters, and any other content required by sections 27.061 or 74.093B of Texas Government Code. Talk a little bit about Texas Rules of Judicial Administration Rule 10. As far as the format, local rules, forms, and standing orders must be submitted in a format specified by the Office of Court Administration. What I can tell you about that is we do want those documents uploaded in a PDF format. So save your document to PDF and upload those on the site. Presiding judge authority, the presiding judge of an administrative judicial region may direct a court in the region to amend or withdraw a local rule, form, or standing order if the presiding judge determines that the rule, form, or standing order fails to comply with Rule 3A of the Texas Rules of Civil Procedure, or that it is unfair or unduly burdensome. Additionally, the Supreme Court has authority and may direct a court to amend or withdraw a local rule, form, or standing order for the same reasons as the regional judge. Next slide. So as far as a conflict resolution information, once the public website is live, it is the court website is currently live for the uploading of this information, and that is strictly for the use of court clerks, court staff to upload the documents. The portion of the public side has not been made live yet, but once it is, this information, the complaints that a local rule, form, or standing order conflicts with other laws or rules, is ineffective or is unfair or unduly burdensome, and may be presented first in writing to the presiding judge of the administrative judicial region in which the court is located, then in writing to the Supreme Court of Texas at the rules comments at txcourts.gov. This is how a resolution is directed to be resolved. And so I just want to bring that to your attention. Next is a slide of the actual website. If you can go to the next slide. Our comment, I'm sorry, I missed that slide. Paragraphs E and F expressly authorize the regional presiding judge and the Supreme Court to direct changes to or to the repeal of local rules, forms, and standing orders. Next slide. So here's the website that I was kind of jumping ahead to. But if you're a clerk or a court staff, this is where you would actually go on the website to access the portion on local rules, forms, and standing orders. Right there in the center of the screen, you can see that little red box. And if you click on that red box, then it will give you the opportunity to add this as a feature to your user ID. If you're not currently set up to be able to access, there's a place that will provide an email for you to be able to get set up in this system. Next slide. So here is for authorized users. There's a user guide, and you can contact OCA-legal support at txcourts.gov. And below here is the email in which you would enter your email address, and it would provide you the link to your account once it is set up to be able to enter the information. At this point, Sam is going to do a demonstration for us of the site.
Okay, I am off mute. Okay, thanks, Sherry. Let me pull this over here. And so right now, currently, I'm on the texcourts.gov landing page. And so there's actually right now, there's two ways you can get to the actual local rules landing page. Home, I'm right here at home now. And if you go down to new, it says Office of Court Administration, Local Rules, Forms, and Standing Orders website. Click Learn More, and this will direct you to the actual landing page. And most of you have been, all of you should have been here if you registered for the actual webinar. So that should not be an issue right now. The other way you can get to the site is click Rules and Forms, scroll down to Local Rules, and this will take you to the same page that we're currently on right now. In regards to the rules and law, as you see right here, you have clerk information and instructions, which Sherry showed you in the beginning, just a few minutes ago. You have rules and laws, and you also have frequently asked questions. Under rules and laws, Sherry spoke about the final amendment to Rule 3A 1.2 and 10. And so there's a hyperlink here that you can click on in order to get to that final approved amendment. Also, the Texas Government Code is located here as well, and you can, when you get time, you can come back through and read through the verbiage here in regards to the Texas Government Code that governs this the local rules process. Frequently asked questions. Sherry will be going over this a little bit later. However, she won't have time to kind of touch on every one of these. There's 17 of them. So I encourage you all, when you have time, to go back to this particular page here. Click on the read the frequently asked questions. You click on it, it drops down to the actual answer. And so again, I encourage you to go back to this page and read through them all, just so you have a really good understanding of some of the questions and answers that we have here. I'm going to click on the clerk and information page. And again, as Sherry had stipulated in her presentation, you will come here to access the place where you can upload your files, your documents. So I'm going to click on that. And you will add your email address here. However, I'm going to go to another test site. I'm not going to use the actual live site right now, which is relatively the same as what you have to log into, but I don't want to mess with anybody's files in there. So I'm going to go to the one I already have set up. Click here, submit, and it sends you a code. Give me a minute here. I'll get this code and then log into the site. Okay. Okay, so here we are. We're actually in the OCA Courts tools, and you have local rules, forms, and standing order. That's the one we're going to focus on today, but you also have protective order registry and citation notices here as well. Currently, we're on the home page. I'm going to click on local rules, forms, and standing orders. And under a local rules, forms, and standing order, you have a place where you can add documents, which we'll go through in a second. You have manage documents. And down here as well, all the documents that you can manage. You have summary reports. And this just pretty much tells you how many of those documents you have uploaded in the system when it comes to local rules, forms, and standing orders. And then you have court document reports. And these are, and again, this is my site. So I have limited documents in here that I've kind of uploaded just so I can drive this whole thing and show you how it actually works. I'm going to go back over to this managed document. And so from a searching standpoint, because these headings down here, document type, title, document in effect, these all allow you to search and find which particular document that you're looking for. For instance, document type. There's only 3 document types: local rules, standing orders, and forms. However, you got a slew of documents here, a slew of, let's say, forms here. You type in forms, and it would just, it'll narrow your search down to just the forms. And if you got a ton of forms here, you can further refine your search to say, okay, I only want to see a form with this particular title. I'm just going to put form 1, and that would just bring that particular form up that I'm looking for. Also, documents in effect. You have documents that say that documents in effect can either be yes or no. In this case, I got one here that says yes. If I type no here, it will show you no matching record found because there's no other document here with a no document in effect rule in place. So let me go here, I'm going to add a document. So I'm going to, and here is where I have all the different things that I could do as far as uploading the document into the system. I can select all and have it pertain to all these different courts that I have here, or I could select one. Well, let me do this. Select one. I just want to upload it to the 242nd District Court. I could do that. Click off of that. And I could just select Castro County Constitutional, and it would just upload to that particular court. And for ease of purpose, I'm going to just use the Castro County one, and I'm going to select, let's say, standing orders. Now here is, we've been encouraging folks, and it says right here, document title you assign, it's a title attorneys and the public will see. Please be clear and descriptive about the document subject matter. Because when they perform a search, you want to be able to allow them to find the document that they're searching for using the document title, if that's what they choose. So ensure that it's a title that's descriptive enough for them to be able to find that particular document. Just going to put test 2 here for my purposes. Here you have, do you want your document to take effect immediately? You can say yes, or you can say no. I'm going to put no here, and I'm just going to type in a date, 11, let's see, 25, 2022. Click choose a file. It's going to choose a document, and then save, and that uploads your document in here. And here it is right here, test 2, where I've actually loaded the document up. I made the effective date 11/25/2022. Put in effect no, and again, effective date will be 11/25/2022. Here I can also, if you want to view the document, you click here to view the document, which again, this is not a real document, so don't pay that any attention, but that's for you to view it. If for whatever reason I uploaded the wrong document, I click, let me go back real quick because I did that kind of fast. No, I want to edit the document right here. Click that. And you have multiple reasons you can, things you can choose here. So delete document uploaded in error, update document details, court association. So I'm just going to delete uploaded document in error. And because I only had this, these are the only ones that will be selected. And I'm going to delete that document out of there. Okay. And so that document doesn't exist anymore right here. And then you can go back, and if you need to upload another document, you just go back to the add document and upload the correct document that you want to upload. Okay, so for managing user profiles, click here where this plus sign is at, and it takes you here to manage court users. And this is where you add, where you can add a user if you want to add a user. And so I click here to add a user. I won't add anybody in this case, but I'm just showing you exactly what's out here. I'll just put a name in there. I'll put their email address in there if I had one. And then I'll select the actual court that I want them to be able to upload documents for. And it could be any of these courts that's in my profile. Here, account rights, user accounts rights. And so for our purposes, this is manage local rules forms and standing orders. Click that one, and that allows me to add that particular user. I hit click save, and that will allow me to add that user to this account here, and that user will be able to upload documents based on the permissions I provided that particular individual. Scroll back. Let's leave this page. Again, you can edit a user. And for me, I can deselect some of these and say, okay, I don't want this individual to have all these rights here. So I'm going to delete any given one of these courts here and click save to delete some of the privileges that that user may have to upload documents in any given court. I'm going to leave that as it is for right now, but just to give you an idea how that works. And I think that's it. If you have any issues in regards to the web page, for technical assistance, you can click support at textdocs.gov. For general assistance, you can click on the OCA legal support at txcourts.gov. And that will, either one actually will provide you an answer to your particular question, but you do have two options. For more technical responses, reach out to support txcourts.gov, and again, general, you got the email down there. And that covers the demo portion of the local rules website.
Thank you, Sam. Just to reiterate some information in regard to the system, what Sam has showed you is strictly a system for authorized users only. Attorneys, paralegals, and members of the general public cannot be added to the system because they would not be authorized users. They would be able to access and review the documents through the public website, which will be topics.txcourts.gov, and that will be located on the OCA's website. Additionally, one thing I wanted to clarify that came up in our last webinar, JPs are under the Administrative Rule, Rule 10, and it only is required for JPs to upload local rules. They do not have to upload standing orders or forms. They can if they want, but it's not a requirement of the rule. If you read the Administrative Rule, Rule 10, then you can also see in the comment, it specifically states that it is only in regard to the local rules. So just wanted to clarify that for any that may be from JP's offices. So we're going to go to the next slide. Yes.
Before you move on, Sherry, I got one clarification I need to make. When you upload those documents, Sherry did mention that it needs to be a PDF uploaded file. However, I just want to add one word to that, make it a searchable PDF, a PDF file.
Okay,
just to provide just a little bit more context there. That's
perfect.
it.
Thank you, Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So next slide.
Okay, let me get to my slides here again.
And here, as Sam pointed out on the website, we have the frequently asked questions and answers. We've put them in the webinar just to basically start questions, but we're happy to answer any questions if anyone has any now before we start going through a few of these. Do we have any questions, Kelly? Doesn't look like there's any in the chat.
No, not yet.
Okay, sounds good. If anyone has any questions, please be sure and add those to the chat. We're just going to go through a few of these. You can certainly read them on your own, but a few things that we wanted to bring your attention to is the first question: where can I learn more about the local rules, forms, and standing orders process? If you go to the rules, Texas Rules Civil Procedure 3A, Appellate Court 1.2, and the Judicial Administrative Rule 10, that's going to assist you in learning more about what this is. Basically, what this process is replacing is the requirement that the Supreme Court approve local rules and standing orders and forms. They no longer will be doing that. It's given the local jurisdictions control over creating those and not having to have the Supreme Court approve them. So I think it's a great tool. It will help and assist as things need to be changed through your courts to be able to be done much quicker, and and address anything that you may come across in your courts as they happen. So are district and county courts required to post their local rules, forms, and standing orders? Yes, as we explained, it's covered in the new amendments in Rule 3A. Another question that was asked recently, and I don't think we have it quite yet posted on our website. This does not specifically state that the court clerk post these, but we would encourage the court clerks to do this because you already have access. If we didn't have the court clerks do it, then we would be creating additional users within the system that all their function would be is to add the local rules and forms and standing orders. So we just hope that clerks can maybe do this. You should already have them in your minutes. So it can certainly be something that would be added to your process. I know it adds a little extra work, but hopefully it would only be have to be done occasionally and when any updates are done. And then again, we talked a little bit about the justice courts. You only have to do your local rules, not standing orders and forms. But if you so choose to, you can add those as well. Next slide. So another question that's come up, some municipal courts actually add protective orders, and municipal courts are not under these amendments, but we are allowing them to add them if they so choose. So if you are a municipal court and you don't have access to the system as a user, go to that email address that's on the website, and we'll get you set up to be able to add your documents. If you're a head or lead clerk and cannot access OCA's local rules, forms, and standing orders website, what do? Here's your OCA legal support at txcourts.gov. I'm a clerk, staff, or court staff, and I need authorized user status. How do I get that? Again, you can go to that email address, legal support at txcourts, and they can assist you. But also, if you have a designated manager in your county, they can provide you access to that you would need in order to update the website. And let's go to the next slide. Does my document need to be in a special format, a text searchable PDF, as Sam mentioned? If you're not familiar with how to do that, we would encourage you to contact the technical support and we can assist you with that. What is the effective date of the local rules, forms, and standing orders that I post on OCA's local rules, forms, and standing orders website? The effective date is not intended to be retroactive. It is only required that it be posted by January 1 to be in effect. If you have local rules currently in your courts, they remain in effect until January 1. But if they are not posted on the OCA's website, then they would no longer be in effect. I want to bring a little attention to a question that if you have outdated local rules and you want to take this opportunity to update those local rules, that is certainly encouraged. You have a few weeks now that you could get that done and then post them effective January 1 and have brand new rules to start the year out. So that's certainly encouraged. If you've got local rules from one court I talked to was from 1977. So I think those are probably a little outdated and could use some updating. Sam covered already how to upload a corrected document. One thing I do want to mention though is the delete function of a document, if it's uploaded in error, is only available for 30 days after you upload it. So if you don't realize that you've made a mistake, then you will have to remove the document versus delete the document. That edit will not be there. Next slide, please. My court's amended a document and I already uploaded it. What do I do? Again, you can edit it or you can remove it and start over, replace the document. The system has been set up to provide various reasons, and that's for the purpose of tracking when a document is removed from the system. And so we want to make sure that that it's clear as to what those edit and remove functions do. Next slide. Let's see, I want to go to one that I think is particularly, what is the difference between remove document no longer in use effect or edit reason and the replace document edit reason? So the remove document no longer in use or effect edit reason can be used to remove temporary, discontinued, or abandoned documents. The replace document edit reason can be used to replace an outdated document with an updated document. It combines removing and adding in a single step. So that's a little bit of how the system works and the difference between those two. So do we have any questions?
Sure, there are 2 questions in the chat. One is asking if the slideshow will be available to attendees.
Yes, we will get that out to you. We'll also have it on the website. We're waiting until the webinars are complete in order to make any final adjustments to those before we submit them. But if we have your email address and you're not anonymous in this system, we can certainly email that to you. If you also go to the OCA legal support, we'll have that available. And if you email us directly, we can certainly do that.
The next question we have is, in multi-court counties, must all courts within the division, civil, criminal, or family, be uniform or the same? That is, in a multi-court county, can each court have different rules?
So I think it could be different depending on the functions of the courts. I know in larger counties specifically, they may have different rules that are applicable to family versus civil versus criminal. So local rules can be by category in those multi-counties or multi-court counties. So I think you're fine in designating different local rules that address the different things that are applicable as to processes of the case types.
The next question we have, Sherry, is the head lead or lead user, is it per county or per court?
That is probably up to the county and how they set that up initially. So if you're from a clerk's office or a JP's office, you may not have actually ever been set up. But if you're a clerk and there's a designated head or lead person in your clerk's office, then they would be able to give you access. If you're a JP and you've never been set up, then we would give you access and maybe make you the head or lead person in your county.
The last question that we have so far is, can the local rules be used to keep remote hearings in place for JP courts?
That is probably more of a legal question. If you'll email that direct to our legal support team, then they can maybe answer that. I don't think it would be a problem to include it in your local rules, but I'm a little bit hesitant to give any type of legal advice if this could be that. So we'll take care of getting that to our legal if you'll send that direct to the legal support email address.
The next question is, can rules be different within the division? For example, Harris County has 24 civil district courts. Must all 24 have the exact same rules?
That I'm a little bit hesitant again to answer on the webinar. If you'll email that again to the support email address, we'll get clarification for that. I believe that what the idea is that each division, so in Harris County, if you have civil courts that serve your district courts, then they would all have the same local rules. But I'm not 100% sure on that. So let me find out for sure. Is there any other questions?
That is all we have so far, Sherry. Oh wait, there is one more that, nope, never mind.
Thank you,
thank you.
All right, perfect. And this is being recorded and will be available for review if you want to go back to the website and listen to anything. But we're always here available to you. Just email us directly or through the emails that we provided during the webinar. And we look forward to hearing from you. And if you have any questions or any problems that come up with the website and the portal that we've created for this purpose, please let us know any suggestions that you may have that we can make it better, because we want the user experience to be what it needs to be, and you guys are our users. So thank you so much for joining us today.